Have you ever thought to yourself, who are these people and how are they related to me? I feel you. I've been there, done that, and in episode 32, we'll talk a bit about how to embrace what frustrates you about the ones you love. This is Motherhood Unmasked, the podcast for real talk about the challenges moms face. I'm your host, Vanessa Harris, but Mama, you're the hero. Ready to reveal the beautiful mess behind the mask? I am. Let's go. Hey there, Mama Bear. Vanessa here with compassion, candor, and clarity for you, the mom who believes faking it behind a mask is for chumps. And you're a champ. I'm so glad you're here. Listen, I'm back with my setup intact, enjoying power and clean water in the aftermath of Winter Storm Uri. And while that's our story here in Texas, many here are still recovering. So if you're the praying or helping kind, we'd appreciate both. If you've been following the podcast for a while, you know I'm a big believer in self-care, especially for moms. And for me, partially that looks like taking breaks from producing this podcast about every 10 episodes. And today is the 10th episode of season 3. That went fast, didn't it? Nothing like a pandemic and a weird winter storm to make time fly, but here we are. So I'll be off for a while, but I won't be off the grid. If you're on my email list, you'll hear from me weekly about what's going on with me and what I'm planning for you. And if you're not on my list, just go ahead and sign up at vinelifefaith.com/podcast. It's free, and I'm too busy to spam you, so no fear there. And of course, I'd love to connect with you on Instagram at Motherhood Unmasked Podcast. That's also the quickest way to send me a message about what's on your mind. And hey, if it's been a while since you've taken a break, in any sense of the phrase, think about what that could look like for you and make it happen, girl. You deserve it. So, last episode, we talked about the importance of embracing who you are so you can be your authentic self for the people you're meant to impact. Check out episode 31 if you missed it, but today we're talking about a carryover effect of embracing who you are, and that's embracing the members of your family. Because if you don't like yourself or you allowed others to convince you you're not likable, it's going to be super hard to appreciate what makes others tick, especially the ones you live with. And there's no one like family members to either function as your mirror or your sandpaper. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, if you have a child that's a mini version of you, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm not referring to looking like you, but acting like you. And that humbling aha moment you have when you realize the stuff they do that irks you is the same stuff you do, but it hits a little different when you're on the receiving end. Yeah, just go ahead and say amen or say ouch. I've been there. I also know what it's like to marry a man who's your complete opposite, which adds a whole other layer of flavor to the adventure of two becoming one. So how do you become one with someone who just by being himself can rub you the wrong way? Well, one, you accept that his wiring is just as wonderful as yours, though different. And two, embracing the truth he's actually not on this earth nor in your life to make you miserable. I know it may feel like that's his mission sometimes, but there is a method to what you see as his madness. But it takes time and curiosity to appreciate his difference isn't designed to hinder you, but enhance you. To be like the salt to your pepper so that whatever you tackle together works better than either of you attempting it on your own. Can you tell I recently celebrated an anniversary? Anyway, when it comes to your kiddos, their difference brings out the best in you, minus all the selfish bits. And while we like those selfish bits, the sooner we appreciate their gift, the sooner we drop the weight of selfishness that so easily trips us up. And just in case you're wondering, no, I don't always get this right. Sometimes I just want everyone in my house to be just like me so we can all get along and do things the way I think they should be done. And when I get yanked out of that dream, I'm left with the choice to dig in and get to know my peeps, to find out what makes them tick and what I can learn from them, how those things are meant to bless me and not bother me. And that brings us to the segment of the show called Homework, the work a woman does to build her home and family. This week's homework is making another list, but this time looking at the things about your hubby and kids that get on your nerves, and instead of complaining about them, jotting down how those things compliment you. Might be a stretch, I know, but the exercise will set the stage for creating harmony at home when you see your people as blessings instead of burdens. My family is an interesting bunch for sure. I'm an introvert, my husband's an extrovert, and our 3 kids are on different spots along the continuum, but those broad terms don't tell the whole story. We have temperaments and blends of temperaments that explain why, say, my version of introversion looks so very different from my oldest's. And that understanding has helped to keep us all from harboring resentment over people's self-expressions that are a matter of wiring versus malice. I learned about temperament theory as a new bride about the same time I learned the 5 love languages, and it's been a godsend, not only in terms of me embracing my unique bent, but also for navigating all of my relationships with my parents, my siblings, my husband, my children, and my friends. And learning about temperaments has served to eliminate much of life's relationship drama that really comes down to misunderstanding yourself and others. My husband and I shared temperament theory with people as we moved around the country as a military family, and I never cease to be amazed at the light bulbs that go off for people and the number of times we've heard, "Oh, that's why you do that. Oh, that's why I'm like that." And recently, I started working on an online course to share temperaments with even more folks because I've seen the power of understanding firsthand. But as you know, adding another ball to your motherhood juggling routine is only worth it if people want it. So if understanding yourself and others to make for a more harmonious home life and life in general intrigues you, join my interest list so you're the first to know when the course is available. You can find it at vinelifefaith.com/podcast. That's vinelifefaith.com/podcast. And listen, don't be a stranger during the podcast hiatus. Okay, look for me in your inbox or on Instagram so you know when the next season gets started. And remember, when it comes to you being the mother of your children, you, my friend, are the woman for the job. Take care. Thanks for making this podcast part of your day today. Before you go, please be sure to rate and subscribe to the podcast. That way you get notified about new episodes while helping other moms discover the show. Motherhood Unmasked is sponsored by Vine Life Faith, where we're breaking negative cycles and building healthy community through connection with Christ. vinelifefaith.com.